Mount Redtooth Observatory.
Returning to the observatory for what he hopes is the final time, the man feels anticipation and dread in equal measure. Soon, he knows he will have what he needs.
I'm in danger!
We'll see.
Hello, I was expecting you. I've already taken care of the imaging array, but you should still look into securing the primary coolant flow. With some luck, you may be able to light the area before these things even show up.
Okay. Oh. Oh. Still getting used to the controls. Or not. Hey, fellas, how we doing? Nail gun. I like the nail gun. Oh, whoa, whoa. Hey, buddy. I didn't even see you coming. Okay, let's go. We gotta go. Pull the switch. Thank you.
Very good. I believe we're ready to look into the sky.
Right there, Doctor.
Oh, boy. Is that the all-new Hyundai Sonata? Yes, it is a nail gun. Hey, guys. Bye, guys. Okay, maybe the nail gun isn't so great. Oh! Yeah. Nail gun's not so great. It's cool, and I kinda prefer it aesthetically. But it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Let's switch to the carbine for now. Hey, bud. Need a lightsaber? Yeah. Manuscript. New reality fragment 2.
The film noir poster reminded me of Alex Casey. The detective's cool exterior never cracking even with the gun pointed in his face. In the back room, all the lights had been turned off, except for the lone spotlight which illuminated the bright red fire extinguisher on the wall. This act of creation is exhilarating and frightening. Subtext and symbols loom eager to take effect. Causality and consequence become domino chains that stretch into infinity. The more fundamental the change, the more unpredictable the variables become. Reality is too complex to control completely. Ordinary questions become meaningless. Who created who? what is really real. Everything is as real as everything else. You learn to let go of the things you can't control and go with the flow, or go insane.
Very true. Anything else we haven't listened to? Nope. I'm on the bet I'm supposed to go up here. Actually, is there a weapon over here? I think there might be. Nail gun ammo. Oh. Those are supposed to be healing spots. Why are you doing that? When you think about it, Alan Wake is really just the Pajama Sam games, but for adults. If you really think about it. Do I have enough? Damn. How many am I missing? Excuse you. You can't park there. You can't park that there. Worst thing I could encounter illegal parking.
Come on in.
All right, Mr. Crazy Pants, what do you got this time?
This is what you look like. Does that bother you? I bet it does. I'm not just wearing your face, you know. It goes a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of you and me. All the best parts.
Yeah, Mr. Scratch is meant to represent, like, the worst version of Alan.
But they kept telling all those stories about you. You already had that rep. And then you disappeared mysteriously. And then the stories about bad, crazy Alan Wake came true. And here I am. That's the best part, isn't it? When that happens, you can always count on Cauldron Lake. I'm just as real as you are. And I'm the improved version. No fears, no doubt, no weaknesses, no self-deception here. I don't let anything drag me down. I know you like I know myself. I know it bothers you that I'm like this, that I use your name, crawl my way into your life. But I only do it because I'm better at being you than you ever were.
You done talking, Crazy Pants? Okay. Anyways, I believe the answer to your question is If it's this Saturday, 9 o'clock.
You need to protect the telescope. We can't complete the system.
Oh. Hey, buddy. Sudden rock and roll music. I feel like I maybe wasn't supposed to beat those guys so quickly. Oh, this is Thor and Odin playing. Stream can hear Discord pings. Okay, hell yeah. Stream shouldn't be able to hear Discord pings.
But I wish these things would stop blatantly.
Oh, it's because I have Discord audible for...
Violating the laws of physics in my observatory. That's just rude. Are you alright?
I'll live.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you. I remember our previous encounters very clearly now. But technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
I said this before, but it's a really cool idea. I've never seen a time loop story done where every single person in the time loop is aware of the time loop.
Doctor?
You know, I know physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
I'd imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly you've never met hardcore physicists.
I'm glad you're in such good spirits, but
The signal! Yes, it's completed.
finally,
That felt like there was a line interrupted there or something.
all goes well. This should be the last time we go through the loop.
Why is she just
I just realized that I
He's
don't
kinda stuck.
have any memory of what happens after
stuck
you
like
leave.
this?
What does that mean?
I don't think it means anything.
It means you're a character in my book.
Just keep going. I don't show up here like this again. No more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now.
I think it's just the town.
Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No, you can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could...
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars. Word of advice. This is things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into a world of hurt. Believe me, I know.
I see.
Okay. Can I get that jacket? Mount Red Tooth Observatory. That'd be a cool jacket to sell. I don't think I'd Not me selling it. I sincerely doubt I would be allowed to do that.
In a strange way, he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes, they will be enough or they will not. For now, he's content to let the currents take him toward the final confrontation.
The final confrontation. Drive-in theater.
Once more, we return to the drive-in. If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself, he doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more, but cowardice is not among them.
Let's get it done. Oh, hey, friend.
Oh, you got yourself a little plan, do you?
Oh, you stay right there. You stay right there, buddy. Oh! I keep forgetting what the buttons for run and dodge are. So Mr. Scratch is a creation of my own design. He was a character in the TV show that I had written, or that Alan Wake had written, when he was a writer for Night Springs. Excuse me. And that was where the whole idea of like the evil twin plot came to be. Bam, bam, bam. Hey, buddy. Hey, bam, bam. Bam. All right. Everybody calm down. Here comes the puzzle again that I have no idea how I actually solve. I just keep pressing buttons. And it seems to work. Let me see if I can actually understand this now. So they're all flashing red. That one's flashing this one green. So what if I... Oh, okay. Whatever. All right, where's the guys? Where's the guys I gotta kill? Ow! Got him. This time... Oh! I don't even have to go through there this time. It's just open. What? So it's through here. Yeah, and then it was through here. Okay. So yeah, just that gate is knocked over. I wonder if that's supposed to be like that. It's just, it's like streamlining the days. It's like a time loop. Oh right, there's like a swinging gate. I think it's this thing. Right. Not super obvious.
You're never getting out of this, Wake. Never! Don't worry. I'll take care of your wife and your life.
Oh! More music. Okay. Hey, bud! Bam! 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 Whoa, buddy! Man, this game loves a little cinematic, copyrighted music break.
I don't know what you think you're doing, but I'll send you right back to the beginning.
Nope, 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 nope. I need ammo. I need ammo. I need ammo. I'm screwed. Oh. I think I somehow juked him. Is that a page? Serena and Mr. Scratch.
When Darkman's eyes suddenly locked into Serena's, she flushed hot. They ignited a black fire in her. He was talking. He wanted the power turned off. He said something about the projector booth. She hooked a finger under his belt buckle. He grabbed a hold of her throat and twisted until it hurt. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her screamed in paralyzed horror, but the moan that escaped from her throat had no panic in it. "Pay attention," he said. "Business first." His eyes glittered shamelessly. Hers did too.
Oh, thank God.
What? You think whatever it is you're gonna do is gonna make a difference? This'll end up just like before!
I just need the ammo box. I just need the ammo box. I just need the ammo box. Thank you. What's in here? Manuscript page. Focusing the beam.
There's more to fighting the Taken than just burning away the darkness that protects them. When I'm fighting for my life, I find myself slipping into a state of intense concentration that makes the beam of my flashlight seem more powerful and focused. I used to think it was just my imagination, something brought on by the adrenaline and fear of death, but now I'm not so sure. I've been touched by powers that I can't begin to truly comprehend, and they've left a mark. I'm starting to think this might be a part of it.
Hey, bud. Oh, hey! Let's take care of those towers. Big guy, big guy, big guy. Hey, boys! Whoa! Watch it there! Stop it! Oh, it's because he wasn't fully weakened yet. Oh, zombie boy! Cool it, cool it, cool it! Nope! Goodbye! Oh, these guys are not gonna stop coming until I can... There we go. Okay, that got rid of him. Whoa! Hey! Oh boy. Whoa! Where'd you come from? Oh! Come on. No, I dodged that, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here. Shadow demons! Oh, I'm so locked in right now. I did in the previous game. I had to fight them. In the DLC, I had to kill them. Or like their shadow demon versions. What? Dude. I should have just flare gunned him. Do I have a flare gun? I do. Oh, that solves that problem easily. Damn, okay. Flare guns are powerful. Woo! Okay. Let's go over here and, like, reset everything. Also pick up any of these flashy things we see. I think I see some manuscript pages, and I just want to make sure I'm, like, not missing anything. Yep, I had a feeling there was something hidden over here. Oh, it's up there. I think things are, like, appearing in places that they weren't before. I think... I'm not sure. Alice's
I held
film.
the film canister in my hands. I saw her name written across it in big letters, followed by the title. It was a time capsule. Moments snatched from times gone by. From a past that I hoped could also be our future. It was my salvation, our chance to be together. A tin can with a bit of magic in it that she didn't even know about. Something I could put to good use. There were only moments left before I had to face him.
Something flashing in there. Let's see if Crazy Pants is still crazy.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the third part of our pre-recorded interview with Serena Valdivia and renowned photographer Alice Wake. So, tell me about the film.
It's called Sunrise, and it really wasn't something I ever thought of as an actual film. It was just footage, things I saw and happened to shoot. It's not a medium I'm very much at home with.
You shouldn't put yourself down. You've got a great eye.
Maybe, but experience is another thing.
Because you're primarily a still photographer.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really used to thinking of the world in terms of snapshots. I frame something and try to pick the right moment, and then reveal that moment to people. Moving images are a different story. I'm still learning a lot about them, to be honest. Or maybe I'm just a slow learner. But showing it like this is definitely a new step for me.
That's the manuscript that I print out.
Something this intimate and showing it to everybody. Not that the material
I'm not sure.
Shocking. It's just that those were private moments.
But that's why it works, because it feels genuine. It's not so much a story as it is a sort of an echo, showing us how you saw your husband at the time. It's not really about the sunrise itself or Alan watching it. It's about you two together.
The code is more what you call guidelines than
It's
actual
funny,
rules.
looking at it now, especially now that it's been edited like that. It takes on a life of its own, almost. It's a kind of a fantasy.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you're right. I'm glad you talked me into it.
All right. Lights on, Crazy Pants.
Oh, hey.
I'm hoping I can put an end to this now.
You'd better. I really don't want that to happen to me again. It's like somebody vomited in my brain, like a sleazy movie that keeps looping in my head.
I'll stop this, I swear.
You know the part that's really screwed up? If you mess it up, it'll just keep happening forever, right? I don't think I can deal with that.
Don't think about that.
I don't think of anything but.
Hey, afterwards, when all this is done, look me up. This thing, I can probably help you deal with it.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm not even in the same world anymore. Everything's just weird now.
Yeah, I know. A lot of that'll pass with time, but being touched by the darkness, it's rough on you. It's a lot to process, and I just don't want you to get completely screwed up by this.
Might be a little late for that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's degrees. At least you're not at a point where you go around picking fights with people over not changing their light bulbs often enough.
What?
Never mind.
Oh, the lady from the village.
Anyway, you're friends with Alice, so, you know, any friend of hers.
Thank you.
There was another page out here somewhere, I think.
The clothes I wear now I shaped from dreams and memories. It's an old outfit, originally from the 90s. The last time I wore it was when I was still writing and Alice and I took a vacation in the desert before our troubles began. The night before, we'd been at a party, and I had dressed to the nines. On that lazy day, I put on these old clothes, worn and comfortable. Alice made a joke about grunge. I felt a little embarrassed, but I stuck with them. We were very happy. I'm sheathed in good memories to remind myself of what is at stake.
It's playing the Crazy Pants audio, but she's not Crazy Pants anymore. Is there other stuff over here? I'm willing to bet there's like other pages over here that I can find. Like, what happens? What happens if I keep walking in this direction?
The Taken were always single-minded. They had a certain animal cunning, but they weren't very intelligent. That's one reason why they prefer melee weapons. Actual firearms are too complex for them to use. That's why seeing the one who threw grenades at me surprised me. But of course, they aren't actually grenades. There's no pin to pull, no fuse to set off an explosive. Just concentrated.
What happens if you hop the fence? Oh, like a dust storm kicks up, stopping me from leaving. Okay. I can't leave the scene, quote unquote. What about over here? Any... Excuse me for trying. I want to see if there's any, like, hidden secret stuff. Damn, you're out of shape. Let's see. What's on today? Just Desserts, A Cannibal's Tale, Sunrise, Ham a documentary, Samurai vs. Conquistador 2, The Return of the Conquistador, and Mexican Handoff. Can I get in here? Is there a door? If you see any like question marks that pop up on the mini map, let me know, because I don't want to miss anything. Hi, lady. Entirely unfazed. I need to stop accidentally pressing that button. Hi, Crazy Pants. I keep thinking I'm seeing like flashing of things I can pick up, but I'm not. Ooh, what do we got? Yes, sawed-off shotgun. Let's do that. That ought to help. All right, fine. Time for the projector.
Again, the champion of light enters the final trap. The new reality is almost here.
He kind of looks like
all he needs to do
the like animations of him, like his face almost kind of looks like a claymation.
Point, and the rest will snap into place.
Okay, this should be the last one, I think. Let's find out. It was a late summer. It was late at night. The summer was almost over. There was a film noir poster visible. Tom the Poet. What does it say? A pinprick of light in an ocean of darkness. What happens if I flip it again? A spotlight illuminated the red fire extinguisher. Alice's film was in the projector. Here we go.
Oh, come on, buddy. Why don't you... What? What is this? No!
Oh boy.
Is it really you?
It's really me.
feels too easy.
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for far too long, enveloped in the light of a glorious dawn. They both feel it. He's home at last. Are these actual events, or merely a dream? A memory, or a glimpse of what is to come? One thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time, and another place, far, far away from Night Springs.
Interesting. I thought that felt too easy to me. I'm gonna be honest. You know, it feels nice. Sorry, copyrighted music. That felt way too easy to me. In terms of like a story sense. You know? Like I was expecting that to be like the middle fake out climax. Where it's like, oh, we had this big plan that's gonna work and we have all the steps for it, and then like something happens that makes it just not work at the very end, and things are worse than ever, and now you have to climb all the way back up, and that's like the final conclusion. But that felt like it ended almost like in the middle of the story. Although I guess that's like, is that a canon story in the universe? I'm not sure. It's not the end of the series. You're correct. We will continue. I'm not quite sure which one is next though. Quantum Break is Quantum Break. Quantum Break is next chronologically. Is that chronologically like that's the next one that was released? Because I have that one. We can like begin that today, I think. According to the internet, Control actually came out before Quantum Break. Quantum Break isn't connected other than a few Easter eggs of Alan Wake. Okay, yeah. So we'll do. That's not right. You sure? That's what the thing is telling me that I'm looking at. Okay, so then we'll do Quantum Break now then, if that's the order that they were released in. Yeah, I bought Quantum Break when it was on sale, so I bought it for like almost nothing. As far as I know, Quantum Break does the time travel concept as Alan Wake did, but with the psychological reality stuff. Yeah, I know very little about this game. I remember there was a bit of like hype when it initially came out. Let's in the meantime take a peek at, I just found this. This is a video called When a Director Breaks All of Pixar's Rules by some channel called Seen It. Let's take a peek. It was just recommended to me.
You know, in Monsters, Inc., it was fur. We've got fur. I'm here to confirm we have fur. You know, then it would be Nemo. You know, we have underwater lighting, and we can do subsurface scattering. And then
this is the always playful, much beloved animation director Brad Bird, the director behind animated classics like Ratatouille and The Iron Giant. And here he's explaining the technical difficulties facing probably his most incredible film.
With Incredibles, our whole film was constructed of all the things that computers were still bad at. They were bad at humans. They were bad at hair.
So the computers were bad.
Yeah, I know. Animation was like not great back then. It's always interesting. I've seen people talk about how like CGI seems to have just kind of gotten worse over the years. People point to the Flying Dutchman, Davy Jones, in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and talking about how like back then you look at that still holds up to this day, But then you have like other things where it's just like, oh, it looks really bad. Toy Story turns 30 this year. That's crazy.
Water, they were bad.
But they were what I was saying. They were talking about how it like looks good, and that like they like knew people who like worked on it, or like it was a person who like worked on it or something, and they were talking about how like the issues with CGI that looks bad is because of like rushed jobs, people who are like CGI artists who are not given enough time to do the things that they're trying to do. And that the Davy Jones effect was like they were given as much time as they needed to make that thing look real, and they was like a huge labor of love. A lot of CGI isn't great, but you also don't notice the good stuff as easily as it just looks real. Yeah, that's a good point, and I know that's like a big thing.
At fire.
Really bad. It was 2004.
It's one of those jobs where like if you're doing it right, it goes unnoticed.
Pushing the boundaries in animation, Bird and his team took it one step further.
One of the challenges of the film was just the scope of it. We had a shot underwater, shots in a jungle, shots in a boring office cubicle, shots around the family dinner table, E's house, which is like Bauhaus meets Greek ruins. The variety of environments in this movie was enormous.
I think that you can get a grasp of the number of different locations.
I hope you can get a grasp of the number of locations because Lord knows.
For reference, Monsters Inc. had 50 individual locations. The Incredibles had over 200. There was fire, there was water, wind, clothing, all the most annoying elements of 3D animation at the time.
This is a hobo suit, darling. You can't be seen in this.
We have something like 95 costume changes and
I feel like every other day I'm learning something new about how like more and more reasons as to why The Incredibles is such a good movie.
Just t-shirts, but suits and shirts and ties.
But The Incredibles presented one major problem that Pixar hadn't had to deal with before.
When they started to think about what it was going to take to do this film, one of the big issues was, oh man, we got humans. Now, the reason humans are tricky is you're one, I'm one, and all of a sudden we have expectations about how those humans are supposed to behave, how they're supposed to look, what their attributes are.
So the animation team did what they do best. They invented some specialized controls, some software commands that would let the characters do what they'd never done before.
We've got characters that got big hunkin' muscles. We got characters that have some mass. So when I start running, I want to be able to control that mass, finesse that mass, such that I can actually have a jiggle. So we started to look at what kind of jiggle controls we would have.
They gave Mr. Incredible's stomach jiggle physics.
Material, the skin, feel.
A trend for attempting photorealism poorly. It's a trend for attempting photorealism poorly as opposed to being stylized and very good at that. Yeah, that's fair.
Would allow us to get away with less of the minute detail.
As we aim from realism, we could become quicker to dismiss the animated objects.
Fundamentals of animation, but now customized for humans.
And despite all these technical limitations and how hard they were working,
You know, we were on the edge of failure the entire time we were making it.
Bird still implored his team not to take any shortcuts.
But you want everything to be believable. You want to believe that these are living things that have feelings and pasts.
For instance, in Monsters Inc., the animators gave Boo pigtails because it would be easier to animate and replicate.
Because it would be less hair to like.
In The Incredibles, he rejected the option, instead encouraging his.
They wouldn't have to animate flowing hair.
For the sake of the character.
And it's great that Violet's got her hair behind both her ears. She's ready for action now.
Yeah, that was the visual idea there, and why having her hair work was such an issue. As a filmmaker, you're always looking for ways to say things visually, and having her hair start out in front of her face like something she's hiding behind, and then gradually
I never noticed that.
back, and even having
That's a neat little detail.
back in the Cameron Miyazaki scenes was key to showing what's going on with it.
How are you doing that? I don't know. Whatever you do, don't stop.
This little story feeds into Bird's animation ethos and what he believes animation is truly capable of. Sure, the animation was groundbreaking and the technology they...
I love seeing those like storyboard clips of different animation things, like seeing like the original storyboards with like the voices over it. I love that stuff. The hair animation is a big reason why Toy Story 3 took on 2010 to come out. Yeah, and like you look at it and it still looks weird. Like
it helped shape many future films, Pixar and otherwise, but Bird was always fixated on trying to show that animation was for adults too.
And people keep saying, the animation genre. It's not a genre. A Western is a genre. Animation is an art form, and it can do
True, it's a medium.
any genre. You know, it could do a detective film, a cowboy film, a horror film, an R-rated film, or a kid's fairy tale. But it doesn't do one thing.
Free.
So how does Brad Bird use his animation to tell us about his characters? How does he create any depth? Well, first he comes up with a simple story.
What if you had a superhero who was not able to be a superhero and is a little older?
You know I'm retired from hero work.
As am I, Robert. Yet here we are.
Incredibles did the Sokovia Accords first.
This is the bare bones of the Incredibles, a super family with superpowers that reflect their familial archetypes. Bob is meant to be the strong father, Helen the flexible mother, Violet the awkward teenager, Dash the energetic kid, and Jack the chaotic baby. So that's fun and leads to some exciting action scenes, but Bird did everything he could to emphasize that this was first and
Incredibles turns 21?
about the characters.
And
Oh,
most
God.
superhero movies begin with the big whammo blammo thing. And I thought if we started in this kind of strange, you know, the film's kind of beat up and old, and we're looking at them in some kind of personal documentary sense that would put the emphasis on them being people.
This is Sean.
Reminds me of the debate of whether Western is a genre or a theme. I think it's both. It can be both.
The fact that they are talking about things that they think their future will involve. So,
Because like the Western, God, you're gonna try and make me go back into like my film theory college days. If memory serves, the genre of the Western is typically embodied by the idea of it's actually very much like The Incredibles it would be technically kind of classified as like a Western. It was the idea of there's no more room in the West for cowboys kind of thing, of like the Westerns are usually the main kind of like theme of that thing is the idea that there is cowboys, and there have been cowboys for quite some time, and they are becoming old-fashioned, but there is this one, yes ma'am, kind of gunslinger guy who is the last remaining cowboy, or so to speak. He's a dying breed, and he's trying to like prove that cowboys are still good. Cowboy movies are about trying to prove that cowboys are still good, whereas the like sort of theme of cowboys is more about like the visual aesthetic, like the hats and the hats and the horses and lassos and spurs. You could technically have a Western genre that isn't Western themed. Yes, you can. The Mandalorian is a very Western, like the Mandalorian show like delves into the like Western genre, actually. I wonder if you could classify Westworld as a Western theme, but not entirely Western genre. Probably. Yeah, I would say so. I don't know a whole lot about Westworld, just like what I've seen by just proxy osmosis. I believe so, based on what I know about it. It would probably be in the theme of Western, but not the genre of Western so much. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that are Western genre that aren't necessarily Western themed, and the Mandalorian's like the first one that comes to mind. There's a fair amount of superhero movies that do that as well. This one obviously being sort of one of them. The idea of like superheroes had their day, no more, they've been outlawed, but except there's this one who's trying to bring it back. Superheroes are still good.
Frozone is the ladies' man, even though we later see him as being married.
Where is my super suit?
Bob is talking about settling down, although later he has a problem with it. And Helen can't imagine settling down, and she turns out to make the transition very well.
So Bird takes time to slow down the story to flesh out his character's motivations, but that doesn't mean he shies away from the action too.
Brad has always said we have to have character-based action sequences, and a lot of Brad's discussions on 100 Mile Dash was let's just not do the cool thing, let's have that, but also, okay, this little kid is using his powers for the first time, what kind of stuff is
there's an episode of What If season 3 that's somehow both but also neither. Yeah, so in everything that I've learned in my bachelor's degree of film theory and studies, is that when it really comes down to it, it's just the what is soup argument. Soup is what you say is soup at the end of the day. And that's really what it boils down to. If you work hard enough, you could call Die Hard a Western. Like, genres don't fucking matter. They're umbrella terms that don't have hard cut lines. We have it's one of those ones where, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't really know how to specifically define what exactly a Western movie is, but I know it when I see it. You can kind of feel it, you know? There is no hard line on any of this stuff. It's all fluid and bendy, and it's just it's not separate umbrellas. It's just a series of umbrellas that are sewn into each other that don't really end. It's quite interesting to think on and develop one's own viewpoint of. I view it primarily as a theme through which many genres could be told. I love the concept of Western horrors, just as kind of like how superhero has been mostly a theme the last few years, but can also be technically a genre. Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I remember learning about was the idea that, like, what we imagine as, like, the Old West, the cowboy hats and the spurs and the guns and the this town ain't big enough for the two of us and the high noon duels and all that stuff came. So what happened was, in America, we started releasing Western cowboy movies, and they weren't great. They were really accurate to the time, but they weren't really great movies. They were kind of boring. But the Italians over across the pond, they loved it. They loved the idea of the American cowboy. And so Italians started making their own Western movies, and the sort of, like, what's the word? The like the silhouette of, like, what a cowboy is and what the Wild West looked like. That, like, yes, spaghetti Western is what it became known as. Americans made bad, accurate Western movies that the Italians loved and started to make their own hyper-reality American Western movies. So, sort of like, anytime that you see, like, an American portrayed in, like an anime or something, they're never, like, an actual, like, American. They're always, like, the big, muscly, like, gun-toting, whatever kind of thing. And it's like, that's not really what life is like over here. That's a caricature that they do overseas. But when the Italians made the spaghetti Westerns, we loved it so much over in the States. We're like, this is so cool, that we just ran with it. And that became the more, yeah, we went with the more fun depiction of the West, as opposed to the more accurate depiction of the West. That's actually a big problem with kung fu movies. There is something I remember seeing a long time ago. I don't remember the full context of it, but it was something talking about how kung fu is meant to be, in its actual art form, it's just meant to be, like, not super fancy, just strict, like, discipline sort of stuff. But then when kung fu movies came about, Bruce Lee type stuff, what's that one? The one with, like, all the people and the Hatchet Gang. God, I just watched it. Oh, Kung Fu Hustle. Like Kung Fu Hustle. Like that kind of movie. That sort of, like, turns kung fu from what it's supposed to be into this sort of, like, mystical art form that you can, like, do magic stuff with if you're good enough at it. And the Chinese government, like, it was something along the lines of, like, the Chinese government, like, really liked that, and so they started, like, commissioning a bunch of, like, sort of essentially propaganda films and, like, things that would, like, push that idea, and sort of really leaned into it of, like, oh no, yeah, these movies are like Kung Fu Panda is like a obviously like cartoon animals and stuff, but, like, no, really, like, if you work hard enough, you can actually do stuff. That's why, like, if you ever watch, like, old, sometimes you can find on the internet, like, old clips of people who claimed to be able to knock people out without touching them by just using their kung fu and like chi. That's sort of where that all comes from, was their decision to try and like push the idea that kung fu has some sort of like magical attachment to it. You know, I can hear it now. A sufficiently advanced discipline is indistinguishable from magic. Yeah. they're like, oh, so Bruce Lee can punch somebody like an inch away and like hit him in the heart and stop them. That's because kung fu. That's not because Bruce Lee. That's because kung fu. And if you do kung fu, then you can do that too. And you got to come to China to learn kung fu. And it was a whole thing. I don't know. There's lots of examples of that. Anyways,
He discovers through it, what he can do.
Right.
He doesn't know what he can do.
That's the point of the sequence.
Yeah.
Is that it's not just a chase sequence. It's
I loved the sequence
discovering that he can do a lot more.
where he's just running for his life and suddenly realized that he's fast enough that he can run on water.
The message
That's so fun.
of the film.
That's
powers are told to hide their abilities in the fear.
as a person who loves like D&D, I love that trope. Like and I desperately would want to find a way to like work it into a campaign. The idea of like 1-inch punch professionals are crazy. Yeah. The idea of somehow having a character have abilities that maybe the player beforehand like agreed upon, like, okay, throughout my character story, these are the things that I want to gain access to over the course of it. And instead of characters leveling up in the traditional sense, everything levels up and you can like choose different things. Sort of like having the ability to mid-fight have that sort of like movie sequence thing, or like the anime thing where like the characters are like really beaten down, and your characters being beaten within like an inch of their life, and just when all hope seems lost, one character like out of nowhere seems to like their hand starts to glow and they just like something is pulled down from in them, and that's when you're up against the wall, you're bleeding from basically everywhere, you're covered in cuts and scratches, you got a black eye, and you are clinging on to life. And just as he goes and swings his axe right above your head, you feel something swell up inside of you, and without even thinking, as if it's some sort of a reflex, you raise your hand up, flames shoot from it, you now have access to the spell Fireball or something like that. That's such like a cool idea to me, just unlocking abilities and things in cinematic moments, not just like, oh, I killed this dinosaur, now I can talk to fish or something. Like I just woke up this morning and now I know 2 more spells that I didn't last night. Having like an actual moment in the game that is when the characters unlock those things. The theme versus genre thing could be addressed pretty easily with D&D. Yeah.
Fear of being ostracized or arrested by society, but it isn't until they truly unleash their powers that they become the best and happiest version of themselves. So the message is pretty simple: embrace your true self, your talents, and you'll be the best you that you
Sorry, my mouse died.
can be. But like any truly great movie, the discourse is a little more complicated than that.
Everyone's special, Dash, which is another way of saying no.
I don't speak any languages.
Universal excellence is a touching sentiment and something I took away from the movie when I was 10 years old. The villain also makes some interesting counterpoints.
This is because I don't have powers, isn't it? Well, not every superhero has powers, you know. You can be super without them.
Syndrome is a non-super who desperately worshipped Mr. Incredible as a kid.
Well, I'm Incredible.
What? His special talent is his intelligence, and he designs technology to artificially replicate.
I think an easy way to go about doing that, you said we've dabbled with it at our table. Well, it's super cool. There's not really a good way to go about doing it that we've found. I don't speak any languages. I don't speak any languages. Pronouns, I don't use them. I think an easy way to implement that would maybe be something along the lines of like, each time your character is like below a certain amount of hit points, it's sort of up to the DM to be like, every time that like you land an attack as a character or you take damage, it pushes you a little bit further in a progression bar. And once you like reach a progression bar, you like would unlock something else. And then it would just be up to the DM to figure out like, okay, now I have to just slightly kind of railroad the scene to set the domino up for this character to now unlock this thing that they have earned that I just have to now reveal to them. And there's situations like that where I think railroading is kind of like good when it's like little like story impact moments. Character is about to unlock burning hands, right? You're in like a forest or something and you're up against like a bunch of spiders. And you have a character whose turn it is, and they've done enough things, they've taken enough damage, done enough things where they've just unlocked one of the things, and you as the DM have decided that burning hands is the thing that would come in handy the most in this sequence that they could potentially unlock. And you could have the character like, what'd you like to do in your turn? It's like, I want to roll the hit, and you're like, okay. And you just have them do it normally, but no matter what they roll, you would just have it so that they miss and reach up. Yeah, it would always for sure be like a case-by-case basis. But like, oh, you reach up and you like swing your axe or something like that, and the spider grabs it with its weird little freaky tendril things and throws you back into its web, and you are fully stuck in there. And you say like, roll for wisdom saving throw, and that would determine whether or not what's about to happen happens out of panic or out of like anger or something like that. Stuck to the things, you feel something reach deep down inside of you, some sort of protection or anger at the spiders, and your hands light up red hot as the webs that surround you ignite in a flash of flame, and you drop to the ground safely unharmed. You now know the spell Burning Hands. Like, I that's so cool to me. I don't know.
Being a super. However, in a moment that contradicts the film's message, Mr. Incredible completely dismisses him.
Fly home, buddy.
He's seemingly not special enough, which then comes full circle when Syndrome returns as a real threat, forcing Bob to take notice.
Buddy?
My name is not Buddy!
Best we've had were not player planned. I write very loose backstories for my characters so that the DM has a lot to play around with. With unknown parents, he decided to make one of my characters' parents an Aesmere. So he told me at the start of my
So what the
turn
hell is the movie actually
that I
saying?
could now use
Does Brad
Radiant
Bird really
Light.
think that everyone's special, or is Syndrome actually right when he says
That's a good one. The podcast I listen to, Tales from Stinky Dragon, does that really well. Where the players have kind of loose backstories, and that lets the DM like do different things. But there's like, you are the DM, you are the world, you are everything in the world except for the players. In Alan Wake terms, you're the darkness that takes the story that the players have told you and plays around with the implications of what they've said that they maybe didn't necessarily intend to imply, but have implied, or playing around with the things that they didn't say and say like, okay, well, you're this person. And even not even in like a large scale, like altering their story wise, just like tiny little, like I said, like tiny little railroad moments where it's like, okay, you've gotten to the point of unlocking this character. While this is happening, in the back of my mind, what's a moment that I could cause to happen on this player's turn that would like cause some sort of new skill to be unlocked or improved upon? And it could always introduce like really cool like moments in there, like a monk that like just leveled up, a projectile is thrown at them or something, and they haven't unlocked the skill yet, but they are about to, and this is like a perfect, like it's on their turn, and the DM's like, this character picks up an arrow, chucks it at this player, and you, without even thinking about it, you've been shot at so many times, your skills are so honed, you just grab the arrow out of the air and you chuck it right back at him. Just a teeny tiny little like railroaded moment, and you say, you now have the ability to potentially catch projectiles and toss them back at them. You can add that onto your thing.